Hi everybody, it's Sandra from the Funky Pickle Thrifter. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I want to share part of my vintage heart jewelry collection with you. In the very beginning of the video, I'm going to very briefly touch on how hearts have become a symbol of love through the centuries. And we're going to concentrate a little bit on the Victorian era when heart valentines became very popular. And of course, the Victorians loved their heart jewelry. Heart jewelry was around before then. It's still around today, and it's going to continue on as a symbol of love. Thanks for coming, everybody. No one can say for sure when a depiction of the human heart went from this to this, and when it started to be synonymous with love. There is an ancient coin from around 500 BC that looks like it has a heart on it, but it is generally thought that it depicts a seed from an extinct plant called the silphium plant. The heart has been referred to in the context of love for hundreds of years in art and literature, and there are a lot of different versions and conjecture surrounding who Saint Valentine was. Naturally, the Victorians took St. Valentine's Day, which was a thing before the Victorian times, and they ran with it. And you can see in that era for the first time, beautiful and intricate and fancy Valentine's Day cards becoming a real craze. So two things that made that possible. One was the fact that these colorful, beautiful cards could be mass-produced for the first time, and the other was a more efficient and organized postal service. On a curious note, there was a huge popularity in sending cards, which collectors more modern day have deemed vinegar valentines. They often had grotesque caricatures and very mean-spirited poems. Well, here's a great old chestnut that you could send to any singers you really hated. Check out this lovely little poem here. You are a nerve destroyer. When a pig's getting slaughtered, the noise that it makes is sweeter by far than your trills and your shakes, and the howling of cats in the backyard at night, compared with your singings, a dream of delight. Your squalls and your bawls are such torture to hear. A man almost wishes he had not an ear. If someone would choke you and thus end their pain, hearty thanks from your poor, distressed neighbors he'd gain. Anyhow, vinegar valentines, it's a thing. Look it up if you're interested. Stick around, hit the subscribe button. You guys know what to do. Do all the stuff. Let's take a look at some really lovely, beautiful, romantic heart jewelry that's about love. So you know I have to start off with one of my prized possessions. This is called a puff heart charm bracelet. Some people call them puffy hearts too. They are hollow inside. And I just want to point out, I don't think any of these are Walter Lampel, but I just want to point that out, that he is one of the most famous designers of charms, and in particular puff heart charms. So my father actually bought this for me. Now this is not like, you know, a woman didn't own these. She didn't get all these from her boyfriends. And if she did, I would say, you go girl. But this was just put together by a dealer. My father would always give us money for Christmas because, you know, he was a father and that's what they do, because they're just clueless about where to go or what to get you. So one year he said to me, what do you want? And I said, you know, I always wanted a puff heart bracelet. So anyway, I just went on eBay and bought this one real quick. Let's just take a look at all of them because they're so very lovely. I think these are from the 40s. They did gain some popularity in the Victorian times. In World War II, it was common for a man to go overseas and bring back one of these from his travels. Now this one looks old to me. This one looks like this may be Victorian. And some nice initials there engraved on the back. How pretty is this little butterfly? So this one has been dented a little bit. Really easy to do. So this is a guilloche enameling one. This is like one of my favorite ones. I love this. Look at the rose. So Tip gave this to somebody decades ago. I wonder if you're still alive, Tip. This is pretty. Are those little forget-me-nots or something? I think these are all marked sterling too. I like when heart jewelry has hearts on it. And Mary Lee was the happy recipient of this. Here's another one that's etched. And this is signed RD. This one looks older too. Maybe older than the 40s. Here's one. I always think like when I see grapes because somebody liked wine, but I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure grapes represented something romantic. And this one is engraved Bessie 42. Here's a beautiful enameled pansy. I love this one so much. And this one says, what does that say now? Does that say Bela or is that Layla? Not sure what that one says. This is one of the prettiest ones, I think. And here's one. This one's kind of dented too. Pretty. And this one is engraved MF, I guess that says. So here's a really pretty windmill one. That one's lovely. Butch Jr. All right, Butch Jr. I like your style. I like that one. So this technique is called repose, and that's where metal is just punched out from the other side. I don't think punched out is probably the technical term for it, but that is what the technique is. Oh, Margie. Margie's a great old-fashioned name. I love this one with the stars and that texture. I don't know if that's supposed to look like fireworks. Very nice, not engraved. And here's a pretty one. I like that one. Here's another one with a flower on it. That's probably a forget-me-not, right? Very nice. No engraving. Oh, we're going to get to my favorite one. There's another one. So this. How much do you love this thing? So this is called a padlock clasp. And this is actually the clasp. And it opens. It's like a spring ring kind of thing. It opens like that, but that's how you close this bracelet. And so I love this bracelet. I actually love the noise it makes too. Anyway, I love charm bracelets. I am going to be doing a show on charm bracelets, so stay tuned for that. I have a pretty extensive charm collection and charm bracelet collection. What I love about charm bracelets is the story they tell. So I'm going to show you a charm bracelet right now that does tell a story that I think is, you know, an organic one, if you will, because I think somebody owned it and it sort of tells a little story of their life. So let's take a look at that now. So here's this charm bracelet. My husband actually bought me this one. We were on vacation. I think we were in North Carolina, and this was in a little antique store. Here's an awesome like Cupid arrow and bow. And here's another puff heart. This one did have a few puff hearts. This one, what is this? It's weird. It's a scale. Was that like something that you would weigh a baby on? Is that what its significance is? And this part goes down. The needle on the scale doesn't move, but I think that's pretty cute. I don't know who that company is. H of C, not sure. Here's another a sweet charm right here. How nice is that? Love it. Oh, I love this one. Look, marriage license. It kind of opens, faux opens, you know. And I wonder where they got married. Was it Vegas? Was it, I don't know, maybe it was Wyoming. State of bliss. Oh, that is so fun. I love you. Oh, very nice. Very romantic. All right, so here is faith, hope, and charity. Of course, the cross is faith, and charity, of course, is the heart. And the anchor represents hope. And the reason for that, if you think about it, an anchor gives you a lot of stability. It holds you still. But the beauty of the anchor, and I think why it really represents hope, is that you can always lift this up. You can lift this out of the water and move forward. So anyway, faith, hope, and charity, always a big theme in jewelry. So somebody went to Spain, because this is a very beautiful and substantial sterling silver toreador jacket here, or vest. This one has me completely confused. I don't know what this is. This little handle turns around, and then this is like a sanding stone. So I don't know what that is, or why somebody would want this on a charm. So if you know, tell me. Just curious what that is about. Forget me not. Oh, very nice. And then, all right, so somebody must have traveled out west and went to the home of the cowboys. It's a little spur that doesn't really turn around. It moves a little bit, but that's adorbs. And another puff heart, another forget-me-not. Here's a milk bucket, I guess. So I don't know what this one's about. Where's like the milk capital? Is there like a cow capital or something? Is that what this bucket's about? Not sure. Here's another toreador with a nice red cape. I think aren't bulls colorblind? I never really got that whole red cape thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they're not. I thought all animals were colorblind. Anyway. And here is a clock. And it has a little pendulum that goes back and forth. So this is a very sweet charm bracelet with some very beautiful puff hearts. So I have a lot more hearts than what I'm going to show you, but a lot of these, you know, I get these at yard sales and they're very beautiful. They're sterling silver, they're $1, and I buy them and I keep them. I would kind of like to make my own craft that has all like heart charms on it, but you know, I'm not very crafty, so there's that. I'm not crafty because I don't think I just don't have the patience. You know, you have to be slow and careful, and yeah, I can't do that. Well, anyhow, here's a very sweet charm, and I wonder, I guess this is that like a V for victory? You think that's World War II, or maybe that's just part of the design? I don't know, but this is pretty. This is not gold. I don't think anything here is gold, actually. I have a couple of things that are gold filled. This top part is gold. Does that look yellow? Or hopefully that doesn't just look silver. But the underneath part is silver, and then the top part is 14 karat. That sort of scrolly lacy part on the top. Isn't that pretty? So here's a hat pin. Very nice. Red glass heart. I like this pin a lot. I think this would look really adorable in a hat. Very long pin. Cute item. Here's one I got from Savers. I love this one. Look at that. It's a great heart and then this sort of thing and these things kind of exploding from the bottom of the heart. I love this one. Isn't that pretty? That's a great one. You know, I love rhinestones. I love colored rhinestones, and I really love jewelry that's like from the 50s like this. Very cool item. So here's a really beautiful, this heart is sort of like an abstract heart, and it is marked 925, and I believe these are all garnets. So if you want, we can use our gem tester at the end, so I'll leave a little pile here of stuff we can check out later. But I really think this is an interesting necklace. Let's see what she was asking for it. She was asking $70. And this is modern. We know that because this lobster claw clasp was trademarked in 96, I think. Something like that. So that's a great sign that this is a new piece. And of course that could always be replaced, but I don't think this one was. But that's sort of interesting. I think it's kind of just I don't know, it's just kind of unusual, and I think it's an interesting design. It's very different. Here's an interesting heart. This one's kind of cool. This is signed Monet. So this is probably from the 90s or something like that. So Monet was started by Michael and Joseph Chernow in 1919. They actually started in the monogram business, and their business was called Monocraft. But in 1937, they became Monet, and they really branched into jewelry, and they were very successful because they hired a designer named Edmond Granville, and he designed fine jewelry for Cartier. Anyway, I love Monet pieces. I really have a lot of Monet pieces. I haven't found any in a long time. But that is pretty interesting, I think. I love the design of this. I love a heart, and then there's two hearts and an arrow. And this is marked Crements. It says it right there on the pin part. So people love collecting Crements jewelry. It's like their gold plating process was sort of a cut above everybody else's. It was started by George Crements in the mid-1800s. He started a business with his cousins, and they were based in New Jersey. They started out actually making men's jewelry. So I think Crements, they had a great process for bonding their gold to their base metal. I think it's a little bit thicker gold than many of their competitors, and I think that's why it has truly stood the test of time, and I just love Crements jewelry. Here's a puff heart charm bracelet that also has some stars on it, and I think this one is really charming, excuse the pun. And this is modern. There's our lobster claw clasp. This was at a yard sale for $1, and I got it because, yeah, I thought it was really pretty, and it is sterling, so I like this one. Here's a favorite of mine. How pretty is this? All these little rhinestone flowers in pastel. in the shape of a heart. This one's very lovely. Look at this. Yeah, that one's beautiful. Love that one. Here's an awesome patriotic one. Now, ordinarily, I would say this is from the 40s, you know, because of World War II, but I think this one is newer than that. I think it's really nice, though. I love patriotic jewelry, and this one's really interesting. I guess this one is to show love of country. So here's a pretty old pin, and this one has a big secret. There is a secret message here. If you take the first letter from each of these stones, it will spell a secret word. Diamond, emerald, amethyst, ruby, emerald, sapphire, topaz. So that spells dearest, D-E-A-R-E-S-T. This type of jewelry is called acrostic jewelry, and the earliest record was for a piece made for Marie Antoinette. It was a ring that said j'adore, which I think means I love. Napoleon was also really big on acrostic jewelry, and he had some bracelets made for his children. It can get sort of complicated because stones, some of them had different names, and then some of these were in different languages, so it can get kind of difficult. But some of the more popular ones said adore and regard. I don't have any antique ones. Maybe when I hit the lottery, I will actually have an antique one. But I think this is really cool, and if you didn't know, you wouldn't know that secret message that is right there in that heart. So interestingly, let me show you something else. I have two more, and these have the same exact message. Diamond, emerald, amethyst, ruby, emerald, sapphire, topaz. What a very cool thing. And of course, you know who was crazy about acrostic jewelry? The Victorians. Who else? So I can't remember where I was, but I found this little pin it's by JJ, and it was $8, and I just knew it was overpriced, and I was really irritated, but I had to have it, so I bought it, because you know what? Woman of a certain age, I'm in a position I could actually afford to blow $8. I can afford it. And so I said, to heck with it, I'm doing it, don't try to stop me. And I bought this very beautiful heart pin, and again, I love when there's a heart within a heart. I think this is really a very sweet piece. Love this little pin. So this one is kind of generic, but it's kind of heavy. It has a lot of good weight to it. I don't know who that is, CII or C2, or I'm not sure who it is, but this is a nice piece with a lot of nice weight to it. And so I picked that one up at a yard sale. That's pretty. And here's something I have never seen before. It's a pendant and a pin, obviously, but when you open the pin, look, that pendant part goes with it. Isn't that weird? I've never seen one like that. Anyway, cool item. Nice height, nice weight, sterling silver. Yeah, $1, I bought it. Here's an interesting pendant. Now, I think this might have been a thing in the 80s. There's like, it's not water, it's sort of like this viscous stuff inside. This is made of glass. And I believe that's probably 24 karat foil in there, but it does move around. That's kind of cool. Now, I don't know, as long as this remains sealed, will that never dry? I'm not sure if evaporation can work through glass that's tight. I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking this will probably never evaporate, but I will be long gone by the time that happens, if it ever happens. Here's two very lovely little cloisonné hearts. This cloisonné heart, I think, is newer. And cloisonné is the art of placing enamel inside these sort of flat wires that they put on the piece that form sort of compartments. And then you put, you know, enameling is sort of like a powdered glass. Something that makes this process difficult is I think different colors require different firing temperatures. And this is very laborious and exacting work. Oh, look at the flower right there. That's very pretty. I like this one. This one looks older. I think this is not Champlavet. I don't think it is. I think this is considered... Yeah, I think this one is cloisonné too. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. But anyway, love it. This is a really pretty necklace, isn't it? I love this one. Some very nice thick mother of pearl there. And we can check those stones if you want and figure out what those are. JC, I don't know who that is, but this is sterling silver. That's a pretty piece. Then I have some here that are stone. These are very pretty. I like this one in particular because the heart is made of stone. Yeah, I've known some people whose hearts were made of stone, but then there's also another little stone there, which I think is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll just stick these on our, maybe we'll just use our gem tester on these too. That might be fun. This one's really cute too. This is stone. Then this little key fits in here. It doesn't turn or anything, but I thought that one's kind of adorable. Well, this one's really special. Madonna and Baby. We will check that to see what that is. Oh, there it is. It's a CZ. There you go. Well, it's sterling silver. It's a CZ, but you know what? I don't think I've ever tested a cubic zirconia. I would just be curious as what the needle will show on that one. So let's check that one out. But this is a very sweet little piece. And this one opens too. Pretty little pendant. So here's a cool stick pin. I love this. This is made of glass. It's shaped like a heart, and this would be considered a tussie mussy. So tussie mussies dated to medieval times, and it was a vessel that you could wear kind of as jewelry, and it would carry flowers and fresh herbs. You know, in the 18th and 19th century, due to poor sanitation, they would use nosegays, and you walk through a bad neighborhood or something, you could pull the flower out or pull the item. A lot of times these would have chains on them. You could pull it up to your nose to mask the horrible smell. And in Victorian times, and I think even earlier, it was believed that the bad smells themselves maybe could cause disease or carry disease, which of course isn't true, but that's what they believed. So this is a really cool stick pin. Now mine is an old, again, I don't have an antique version to show you here, but unfortunately, but I think this is a really interesting piece. And you know what? I've never done this, but I keep saying I'm going to. Like you could just put a little bit of water in there and put some violets or maybe even a little carnation bud or a little rose bud and wear this. And how cute would that be? So here's a very nice little pendant. I actually got this at a Savers a few years ago. So right away, we know this is likely Zuni because of that inlay work, which my understanding is this is a very difficult work to do. It is signed by the artist. It's signed CLY right there, which I believe stands for John Cly. It is a small pendant, but I think it's very girly and very pretty. I love those colors. Here's a beautiful set. Look at this. So this is clearly marked somewhere here. I'm not probably going to be able to show you. Yeah, you can see it. So it's marked AJ. It says 925 and 14 karat. And we'll check this out to see if this is a real diamond. But I love this heart. Look at all those facets. Isn't that beautiful? That's probably just glass. And then we have the matching little drop earrings here. So how cute is that? We're going to test these later. But this is very elegant. I just love that rich, rich red. Isn't that gorgeous? Here's some interesting, very deep red rhinestone scatter pins. Look at these hearts with those little thingies. That's a technical term, thingies. I don't know what those are called. What would you call those? They almost look like thorns. I don't know. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. How many years do you think these two have lived together by now? Probably a really long time. They're probably irritating each other. Either that or their love is stronger than ever. That's what I like to think. Probably from the 40s or 50s on these. So here's a bracelet with heart-shaped rhinestones. Look at this. That is a very, very lovely bracelet. Those look like real diamonds. Want to check it just for fun? Can you imagine? You know, when I first bought my Presidium gem tester, I took my whole bucket full of rhinestone jewelry and I tested every single piece. I said to my husband, what if something in here is real diamonds? We'll be rich. Of course, nothing was, but yeah, it was new. I had so much fun. I was like testing everything in sight. Here's some just plain puffy hearts, but I just want to show you 3 of them are sterling and 1 is not. You can probably really see the difference. This is the fake one. These are all really beautiful. And I have some little ones too. I'm looking for hearts all the time, and also my mom is also. That's probably banded agate or something. That one's very pretty. This one is beautiful. Look at those bright, bright blue rhinestones. Nice and shiny. This is probably from the 40s. How pretty is this? I love that heart. Very nice. So I bought this heart because I just thought it was totally crazy. This is probably a way more modern one. I just thought it was really weird. It's really heavy. This must be ceramic, I'm guessing. That's an unusual one, right? Here's a beautiful clear rhinestone one. Some people also call these white rhinestones. That one's beautiful. Here's a cute one with a shamrock. Just as cheap as can be. Look how light and cheap this is. Still fun. So this one might be from the 40s. I think this is a charm, actually. I don't know if this one's real gold. It's not marked that I can see. I gotta test this one. So some of this enameling here has broken out, unfortunately. Still cute, though. I like that center. So I think this one is 1928. A lot of jewelry has a swirl pattern on the back, but I actually compared this to a piece of 1928 that I have, and I think the swirl is identical, so. This one's really very pretty. It's got a nice dome shape, lots of great rhinestones. Here's one that's kind of intriguing. I like this sort of cool art glass one. That's interesting. And here's a couple more glass ones. We have this one. I think this is Millefiori. And this one too. This jewelry is made with a pretty difficult process. I think these little flowers here, you can sort of see it. They're sort of like little pieces of spaghetti that they chop up and they place in there and then they put it in a kiln. Yeah, I love these. So let's take about 35 seconds and just see how this kind of stuff is made. This one's beautiful. You have your rhinestones and then this dangling crystal. Look at the texture on the gold. Isn't that pretty? Gold tone, of course. I love this one. I think this one's really cool. Here's a pretty little glass pendant with a bow that moves a little bit. Isn't that pretty? This is very nicely made. So here's a cool pendant, and of course this screws out, so you could keep perfume in there or something. I love this one. This one's really interesting. I don't think it's particularly old, but I do think it's pretty. Here's a little locket with a forget-me-not. I think that's a forget-me-not. Isn't that pretty? This one opens up. You could put photos in it. So this one is heart-related. This is a very sweet little sterling silver key. This is really light. I got this when I was on vacation. I love buying jewelry on vacation, so then every time I wear it, I remember that vacation. I think I got this in northern New England a couple of years ago. Love this. So this one is a Jane Seymour item. As the story goes, her mother told her when she was a little girl, if you keep your heart open, you can give and receive love. I love this. Her whole thing is sort of jewelry with meaning, and I think this is really lovely. And this was advertised to have real diamonds, so, well, we'll see about that because we are going to keep them honest with our gem tester, so we're going to put that in our pile. But isn't this so pretty? I love this piece. I actually got this in a Savers, and it was $19.99 as I recall. Cute item, though. I think this one's really very, very lovely, very delicate, and I have worn this a few times, and I've always gotten compliments on it. So I believe this would be considered a charm bracelet, even though there's only one charm on there. This is very pretty. I don't think it's gold. It does say something on it. What does that say? Does it? Let me look. Hold on. Yeah, this is gold filled. Kind of pretty. Now this one I love. These are all crystals, Swarovski crystals, of course. Sterling silver, and this was sold at Macy's. You can see it retailed for $80. This one is actually on my eBay page, just in case anyone's interested. Yeah, I love this. I think this is really a very, very beautiful necklace. Isn't that unusual? So in the 17th century, Louis XIV had a mistress whose name was Louise de Lavalieres, And this type of necklace became known as a lavaliere. So some characteristics are it's very delicate and it has a big drop pendant in the center. Well, I mean, not big necessarily. Now, a couple of things you might observe. This chain, no way, no how, belongs on here. This is much, much too coarse for a delicate piece like this. And I believe the center part right here on the ribbon is a replacement. So I'm going to see about getting this one kind of restored to its former glory. These became very popular in the Edwardian era, and I think this is beautiful. This was actually a yard sale find, and maybe this sort of wonky repair and this sort of crappy chain right here helped people overlook this who weren't really paying as close attention as I generally do. So I'm so happy I have this piece. It is absolutely beautiful, and how nice that it has these 3 heart-shaped stones in this really beautiful aqua blue color. This is the last piece I'm actually going to show you. Let's just test a couple things real quick on our gem tester. As always, we can expect this thing to go out of focus, so keep an eye on that needle right there, and this will tell us what we've got. So this one is the Jane Seymour sterling silver key, which says it has real diamonds. Yes. So, all right, perfect. Real diamonds as advertised, which is good. I'm really curious about this one. So this one says cubic zirconia. So let's just see what this does. Just stays right in glass. Okay, well that's good to know. That is very, very good to know. So this one is the mother of pearl. Let's see if those are real stones or not. So these are our little rubies in here. I really do like this one a lot. Well, that's good to know. Those are little rubies. So this one must be garnets, and I think these are garnet beads as well. I know I have a few of these. I actually have to put them on my page, but I do have a few of these I want to sell. But let's just take a look here. Always extra careful with these cab stones because they are really very scratchy, but there it is. It goes right into the garnet. It goes into a lot of things, so that's where we use knowledge after that. So it went into 3 or 4 different lines, as you can see, but you know, it looks like a garnet, it talks like a garnet, it walks like a garnet, so we will conclude that that one is garnet. Some of the other things I don't really know about, so that's why a lot of times I get confused. A lot of my viewers know a lot more than I do about this stuff, but this one I know is garnet. So let's just check the bead, one of the beads too. Yeah, so that goes right into the garnet also. What a very, very beautiful necklace this is. Love that. So let's just do this one real quick. So this is the one, it came with the matching earrings and 14 karat gold. I guess that heart is 14 karat gold, but I'm thinking that's a real diamond. It sure looks it. Let's check the diamond. Yeah, so that's a real diamond. That's a chip, but let's just check this for fun. Whoa, really? That's ruby, huh? No kidding. Well, I am surprised about that. I really did think this was glass. It sure looks like glass. Well, that's a nice little size ruby right there, I must say. And here's the matching earrings. Well, that's nice. Well, I'll have to research this just to see really what I've got here. It is certainly beautiful. I mean, that color red is just exquisite. This is probably amethyst, right? I think amethyst is just purple quartz, right? Yeah, so it goes right up into amethyst. I love amethyst. Also happens to be my birthstone. So let's check out this. So this is probably pink quartz, and maybe that's amethyst too. Let's see. Yes, so that's pink quartz, and I would expect this to go into amethyst. Let's see. Yep, amethyst. Okay, good. Good to have that info. So I don't know if this is a stone or art glass. I'm thinking it's just art glass. Let's see. Glass, yep, okay, good. Let's test this. So this one is probably pink quartz or something, right? Wouldn't you think? Oh, that's glass. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, so this one is glass and this one is quartz. Good to know. I know this is glass, but we'll just try it for fun. Glass. Anyhow, well, thank you so very much for coming to my heart jewelry show today. I hope you enjoyed it. I truly do. Please leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Pass the word, everybody. Cheers, hugs, kisses, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.